Alrighty, hello and welcome back. I'm looking at the contracts that expire next season. Alrighty, sorry about the noise in the background there. We got a full house over here. Alright, we're gonna go about to there because I think I'm gonna have to do some more repairing. Let's take a peek at the draft class. And what I'm gonna start doing is I'm not gonna worry about pinning the guys until the end. What I'm gonna do is just go through and I'm just gonna worry about skills, and if there's someone I wanna double check their what their potential is, I might do that. It's frustrating because occasionally sometimes this won't let you switch and you gotta back out to the draft screen and then switch a player and then go back into it, and it's pretty frustrating. I'm gonna do this guy again because he could possibly get better. I've seen it be at C with 3 bars before, and then it ends up being a B minus at 4. So it's possible. I've had a guy that was all C's across the board at they were 2 and 3 bar, and I fully scouted him out, went back, looked at him again, and they were all B's and B minuses. I was shocked. I didn't even know that was a thing. But I've never seen it go from like a C at 2 or 3 bars, and then you fully scout him and he's an A or an E. Never seen that. I actually have seen it go from a C minus to an E before, but that was like a 2 bar C minus. So maybe it was a 1 bar. I don't know. It's so hard to keep track. I've done. Oh, I couldn't even tell you the amount of times I've done drafts between NHL 16, 17, 18, 19, and now NHL 20. I've probably completed well over 600 drafts. I'd feel comfortable saying, seeing as how I always run the franchises at the max, and I usually go, most of the times like at least 10 seasons minimum, at least. And I'm playing 10 to 12 franchises per game, basically. So yeah, I think 600 is proper to say. I have lost track of where we're at. We're in the 40s. Okay. They're being scouted already. You always gotta double check these guys. Sometimes they end up being sleepers. You'll see like one A and a couple Bs, and the next thing you know, they're fully scouted and they're all A's and Bs. All right, that's good enough. Let's double check the goalie. See if they've got done with this guy yet. So he probably is going to be an elite. However, he looks like he's going to be crap. Unfortunately, with players like this, it's tricky because they could have really good stats, but they don't have any games played or wins, nothing. Yeah, he hasn't played anything at all. So I could pull this kid and he could be sick as all get out, or he could have all them sick stats and come over here and play like crap. Because he has no experience, and it could take him until he's 25 to get into the NHL. I've seen that all too many times drafting these goalies. The nice thing about drafting the crappy elite mediums, and I have yet, honestly, I have yet to see a franchise goalie in the drafts in this game yet. It's not like last year where, you would play. God, I think the last one I played on, I started the Leafs right before this game came out, and I played like 30 or 40 episodes. I don't even think I uploaded any of it. I think I deleted it all. But I had, at one point on my team signed, I had like six franchise goalies all signed at the same time. It was absolutely ridiculous the amount of franchise goalies you would get. And the thing about the franchise goalies is, even if they had terrible stats and like no strengths and only weaknesses, once they hit like 87 for overall, they pretty much were guaranteed to bounce up to a 90 within 2 seasons. I had some franchise goalies between 18 and 19 that were hitting like 96, 97 overalls, and they would play, you know, 65 starts in a season and they would have like 10 losses. So if any goalie that gets up to that overall, it don't matter what their stats are or anything. It's like strictly the overall. It's insane. Now that will also bite you in the butt too, because like I said, whenever I had the like six franchise goalies, it bit me in the butt because I didn't want to trade the two away that were in the NHL because they were both really good. They were both like 90s or something like that. I think one was a 92 and the other one was a 90. But they were both playing really well, and I didn't want to get rid of them. And I was like, oh, I'll just have, four franchise goalies across the pros and the minors. And I had one that was in the juniors and a third backup franchise goalie in the minors. I was like, I'll just keep it like this, all franchise goalies all the way around. And by the time the starter in the minors was a 78, he was like 24, something like that. And his trade potential, he was still a franchise goalie, but his trade potential was like maybe a third round pick. It was so low. So low. But then, just to test a theory, I traded him to another team. And like 2 seasons later, he was like an 85 or something like that. So I think it's possible for them to bounce back. I can't remember if his trade value. I think his trade value did go back up because he was a higher overall. I don't think it was nowhere near like a normal franchise goalie is. Like franchise goalies are usually almost completely full unless they're like a 49 overall or a 4. I think the lowest I've drafted was like a 45, maybe 45 or 46, something like that. And his trade potential value was still even like maybe 2/3 of a bar, probably around there. It was more than half a bar, but it wasn't 3/4 of a bar, so yeah, probably about 2/3. It's insane. I have yet to see one franchise goalie. There might have been one that's gone in a draft because my scouts, for some reason, don't like to scout goalies. I don't know what it is. I'll go to look at the goalies, and there'll be maybe one that's completely scouted, and all the rest is just like bits and pieces. Which is why I've been going through and, you know, scouting goalies out. Because I would like to know. It makes me curious whenever I see some of the goalies and I see like no strengths, all weaknesses, and really low overalls. I want to know, is that just going to be an elite goalie or is that going to be a franchise goalie? Because if it's going to be a franchise goalie, I want it. Which, I never did look at the potential. I seen one like that in this draft, and I didn't look at the potential for him. I know I had him scout the potential, but I don't know if he's finished yet. So let's check it out here. I don't think it's that guy. I think it's this guy. It's a high fringe starter, so I'm assuming it's gonna end up a elite. Like, see, you could have usually the elite mediums. Most of the time, they don't turn into a franchise. It's usually only the elite highs that turn into a franchise. Usually. Occasionally, it can happen. I've seen some things and I know some stuff. I'm just glad that they made the changes to the drafts that they did. Like 17, oh my gosh, it was unbearable to draft people. I hated drafting in 17. There was sometimes that I would, because this was before I was, oh crap, I forgot to repair my stuff. There was times that I would just auto sim the draft. I would do like the first, maybe the second round, and then I would just auto draft after that. Cause I got so frustrated. It would show that the guy was a top six, and then you draft him, and it's like AHL a bottom six forward. Like, just that's not even AHL top six or whatever. And it would frustrate the crap out of me. I had elite guys that I would do that would happen to me. I would draft a guy that said he was a medium elite potential, and then you get down to it and draft him, and he don't turn out medium elite. If it goes to top six forward, it doesn't really bother me much. If it goes to top nine, I'm like, that sucks. If it goes below that, that's frustrating. That usually only happens, though. It usually only goes below top nine if it's an elite medium that is one bar or less. Well, obviously it's got to be one bar. It's gonna be expensive. I am already about broke, dude. I got no operation budget. I don't know what any of my owner goals were. Can't remember. I don't know if my team overall has shifted during the season or not. Honestly, I don't like that that can happen and it switches the owner goals because like you can be on track and like just about to like whenever you got the get 41 sellouts or get 30 home game wins and you're right about to get that and then your team level switches because like someone gets injured or something or their overall drops and you make a trade or something and then boom, owner goals have changed and you lose all that progress. It's so frustrating. Let's keep prices. Marketing budget 112. I didn't get to see what Detroit's record is. Wanted to see that. If I remember right, I have all their picks until 2028 or something like that. All their first round picks. Good, I don't need to look at that again right now. I'll look at it before the draft. Anaheim is decent. Buffalo looked like they were doing good. Yeah, Vegas switched, so I kind of blew that pick next year. Oh, I want to look at the points. Urgh. Dang it. I think I can still see it if. Yeah, this one. Okay. Hughes killed it. Well over a point per game. Nichushkin a point per game. He was injured a lot. Holy cow. Kaloran, nah. Kako, nah. Wow, Duchesne dropped hard. I'm guessing he'll probably be like an 86 start of next season. Wouldn't surprise me. He says he's still an 88. We'll see after playoffs. There's usually a dip after playoffs when you get into the draft. Occasionally they rebound from it in the start of the next season, but not always. There was a few times I got burned in free agency. Last year, it it was frustrating. Alright, just in case some weird crap happens, I have to start saving this a lot more. I've been having internet issues, and I game share with one of my buddies. We swapped with each other. So I bought NHL 20, so if I lose internet, I can't play NHL 20 because his Xbox technically owns it, even though my profile actually owns it. Super. Who has Xbox and game shares knows what I'm talking about. But it's kind of depressing because if I lose power out, I'm always like, oh, I'll just go play franchise mode, and then I remember that yeah, I can't because he didn't buy it. I can only without internet, I can only play games he bought, or if I have it physically, like a physical disc or something, then that's the only way that I can play it. And I don't think I even own a physical video game disc for the Xbox One anymore. Anyways, rant over. I tend to talk a lot when I'm really tired. It is currently like, yeah, 7 o'clock at night. I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning. Gotta get back up at 3 o'clock again tomorrow morning. Actually, probably should go in a little sooner, but I don't feel like having to wake up at 2:30. That's a bit much when I don't have to. I am so sorry about the noise in the background. Everyone thinks they have to yell and scream here. Come on, guys. You can do better than this. I know we don't got a full goalie, but come on. Okay. Well, unfortunately, we only made it to the second round again. We've made it to the finals one season, and then I screwed up and played goalie on game 7 and we lost. That was all my fault, but it's all right. We're gonna go ahead. We'll end off here. Excuse me, and we will pick back up in the next episode. So until then, see you later, and thanks for watching.